this is what I got at an antique mall. I already took one of the springs off, and it's got my ring. There we go. And so all you got to do is just kind of, I thought maybe I could use wire cutters. That did not work. All you got to do is just kind of twist and twist and twist, and it will come right off. And then I'm using a 2.3-inch styrofoam ball. Now, let me just show you. When I went to put on my styrofoam ball, it was just too small. So what I did, it was like, okay, what do I do now? What do I do now? So I had this quilt batting, and all I did was I cut out 3 square-ish pieces. Let me put this all back in here. And then I just hot glued and just covered it to make it from here to here. That was really all I did. Quick and easy, not that difficult. And hold on, what? There we go. Not that hard, but it made it to be the perfect size for my spring. And then I'm going to add this little scarf on him. So he'll look like this. And we're going to make a hat. I've got some buttons and for eyes and some buttons to go along here. And so we are going to get started. First, I need to paint my buttons. I had 2 sizes. These are just wooden buttons. I'm going to be honest, I got them at Temu. I don't know that I've ever used them for this. You can see they're all painted. I always turn them over and paint them whatever color I want. So anyway, I think I want the bigger buttons, because they'll just show up a little bit better. So we're going to paint these black. I'm going to move that aside a minute. So let's start with this and get these painted black, because I want them to dry so I can add some of this Snow-Tex to the edges of my buttons so he looks like he's snowing. It's snowing outside. All right, so we're going to let this dry. And then I have a bamboo skewer. These are great to use on projects because I get them at Dollar Tree, and I think it's like 10 bamboo skewers for, or 8 or 10, I don't remember. But they work great for noses, and it was just a little bit bigger than like a kebab skewer or something. So I'm just going to take my wire cutters and kind of trim it off right there. Oh, there we go. At least it stayed on the table. At least it stayed on the table. Okay, so let's get some orange paint. Now the hat. Okay. I feel like Matthew McConaughey. Okay. All right, so I have this pattern. It's just, you know, it's nothing but a circle that I cut out. I have a smaller circle that's going to be the top of the hat. And then this is going to be, you know, the inside of his hat. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to actually run this through my sticker maker. I'm going to burnish this a little bit just to make sure this has good adhesive. And I'm going to give this a little bit. I'm going to stick that right there. And I don't have to glue. I thought that was pretty smart myself. It was like, sometimes I do have good ideas. And so now all I have to do is that, and here is his top hat, just like that. Maybe a little big, but I think it'll be cute. So let me cut out this. I need to make sure, yeah, that's going to work. Okay, so we're going to cut this out. Okay, so that's it for the black felt. So we've got the top. That's going to do just like that. So here's what you need to do. Once you have your cylinder down, I'm going to place this here. I'm going to take my white pencil, if it'll work on this, which I don't think it's going to, maybe kind of barely. Yeah, I can still see it. Okay. And I am just going to go around here. Okay, so I'm going to cut this so that I can glue and give it about, I don't know how many cuts. Can you see that? I have kind of a glare, so I'm not sure you can see that. So I'm just going to snip right here and snip to that edge. So starting at the center and just making some snips all the way to the center. Okay. And then what we're going to do is put this down and then glue those pieces up or down, as probably I will do it this way. So I'm just going to start with 2. It's giving a little bit of hot glue right there. Be careful, try not to burn yourself. It may be easier this way, I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. Hold on. Let me get, there we go. Okay. So I don't know if you can see that or not, but I'm just pressing it up and gluing it inside. Ooh! Ow! That glue came out. And now we have the bill of our hat. It's kind of long on that side. I probably did not get it directly in the middle. So now we're going to put our top on, and we're going to just do the same thing. So I'm going to do this here. Maybe I should have made this a little bigger, but that's okay. Let's see. I'm just going to snip it a little. And I'm sure you could buy hats. But you know, I was trying to use up what is in my massive Christmas stash that I have. I was trying to use up what I have already. Scissors are sticky or something. So let's put the top on. So we're just going to do the same thing. I'm just going to kind of start here and glue this in. There we go, just about like that. Oh, that's going to look so cute. All right. Oh, I think we're pretty good. Okay, let me get this in here. Okay, let me do it this way. I have made hats before. It has never taken me this long. I made one that was huge. I think it was easier than this one. Maybe that's my problem. So if you don't have a bed spring like I do, this right here, you could always use, you know, a spindle or a just make your own by just coiling up some really heavy wire. Just give it a couple of coils and you're done. Okay. Go back and kind of glue some more of it around there. I always hate when the hot glue gets there. He's good enough. Okay. I know I keep saying he's good enough, and I keep futzing with it. He's got a hole in his hat. There we go. All right, we're going to decorate this hat. I have just this this little ticking. I think that's what it's called. And I'm just going to run this around the edge, just like that. And I'm going to use some of this glue. I have an idea for the top. It just hit me. Okay, make sure that goes around there. There we go. So now, get that off. There's his hat. And what I'm going to do to the top to make it look a little better is use some of this Snow-Tex. Now you can make your own of this Snow-Tex, but I will, and I forgot the recipe. I'll have to look it back up. And it's kind of drying out. You can make your own, but I just found mine was so crumbly that I just finally gave up and bought me some. And I've used it for a ton of little projects. It doesn't take much. It's like a little dab will do you. And I am going to put a little bit on my buttons, which are where... What did I do with those buttons? The big buttons I just painted black. There they are. I'm just going to add a little bit to the tops of the buttons. Sometimes it's easier just to use your hands. That looks good. Use a little bit. So we are going to get this put together. Like I said, I took a 2-inch ball. It wasn't big enough, so I just added some batting all the way around it. I'm going to hot glue it in here. I'm going to hot glue his hat on, and I know it's kind of hard to tell when it's a project that is this way. If I can get it tied here. All right, so I'm going to glue this over here. I don't know that it matters which side it is. And I'm going to glue this up here. And this here. Okay, I'm going to take this one and I am going to loop it up and hopefully flip it back over. got enough. There we go. And then I'm just going to attach it right there. So here's what we have. I don't know if you can see that. We're going to glue that there. Kind of fixed his little scarf. We are going to glue his head. Find the best spot. Put that down. Isn't he cute? We're going to add his little buttons and add his hat. So we're going to add his little buttons right there. Let's see, this is the front, so we're going to add them right there. Right there. And the other one right there. There we go, just right there. Okay. I'm going to kind of clean up his hat a little bit. Then I just have this little bit of greenery. And I'm going to add a couple of these little leaves to it. Let's see, I'll do maybe one more. Okay, I'm going to add this to his little hat here with some of the berries. Let's see here. It's already apart. I have hot glue all over my fingers. It's kind of hard to feel. Just gonna stick this right here. I may have to add a little more greenery. Oops. There we go. Take this off. There we go. Like I said, I'll fix him up. I will put my nose. I forgot my nose. I don't know that he even needs any eyes. See if I can get this in there. Ah, there we go. There we go. I'm glad I made him that long. So here he is, our little snowman. I'm thinking, I don't know if he needs eyes or not. They have these little buttons. Should I give him eyes or just leave him alone? He looks goofy. I'm just saying. He looks a little goofy. I think I'm going to leave him off.